Hey, good evening. I think I'm live. This is Cindy Baker, and I am so excited to be here with you. I am a coach for entrepreneurs and other creative professionals who have ADHD symptoms like having trouble focusing or time management, clutter, things like that. So I help them actually leverage their ADHD as their superpower to become more productive, doing the right things. And so I'm excited to be with you. I am the creator of the 3P Power Program, which is a coaching program for entrepreneurs with ADHD. And tonight I am going to share with you how to run a successful business with ADHD. I'm going to talk about six things that are six factors that ADHD influences if you are trying to run a business and how you can make sure you're aware of those and how you can deal with those. So, if you're watching live, please say hi in the chat. I'm going to pull it up here on my phone just to make sure yep. Okay, I can see myself. So we're good to go. So if you're watching live, say hi in the chat. And if you're watching on the replay, just say hashtag replay. We're going to dive right in. We're going to talk about how to run a successful business when you are struggling with ADHD symptoms. And maybe you're an entrepreneur who wants to run a successful business, but you're constantly struggling to manage your ADHD. Maybe your business and your life just aren't as organized as you would like for them to be. So, how do you grow your business without letting your ADHD get in the way? I'm going to share some of my struggles and those of some of my clients and explain how I've been able to overcome them. First, let's talk about some of the challenges that we face with ADHD. There's some challenges that might interfere with you being successful in business. The first is motivation to get things done. I read somewhere that 60% of entrepreneurs are said to have ADHD. So you're in good company. When you're first getting started, you don't see results right away, and that means that you may not feel motivated to do anything. You don't have that momentum going yet. You're doing all the things, but nothing seems to be working. And you might even start to doubt yourself. And this is the point where many just quit. This is why so many people don't make it past their first year or two in business. So, what can we do to increase motivation? First off, you have to remember that waiting for motivation is never a good strategy. My business coach, our past business coach, always said action before motivation. Take action before motivation. So, if we can get over that initial discomfort and just get started, then we often find that we start to feel motivated. You start to get some momentum. That's why having an ADHD coach can be so helpful. Um, I've been there and I've done that, and I know what you're feeling, and I can help keep you motivated. And this is not a pitch for my coaching, but I'm just saying I can help you change your mindset and give you a step by step plan that's actually going to get you results. One thing that's helped me is that I try not to compare myself to other coaches or other online entrepreneurs. And because many of them have been doing this much longer than I have. And it's so important to not compare your chapter one to somebody else's chapter 20. And that's what we do, isn't it? Remember that you have your own unique voice that you're going to bring to your industry. There are people who need you. Um, so always try to remember that, and it helps me to get motivated. If I have a big project, I try to break it down into smaller tasks. Otherwise, it just gets overwhelming. So I can focus then on just doing one part, and that's easier to motivate myself to do one small thing. Tackling one small task, that actually gives you a little hit of dopamine. You get that boost of your serotonin, and that makes you want to do more small tasks. And you keep doing that long enough, and before you know it, you've finished an entire project. So the momentum kicks in after you get over that initial discomfort of just getting started. Um, okay, another thing that uh, can be a problem for entrepreneurs is overthinking. Have you ever heard of analysis paralysis? That usually happens when I'm having trouble making a decision about my business. And that causes a lot of ADHD entrepreneurs to literally get stuck. We just want somebody to tell us what to do, you know? Have you ever felt that way? Your business relies on you alone. And if you can't make a decision on what product or service you want to sell, which audience you want to serve, or which lead magnet or course you want to create, you're going to stay stuck. And this lack of action is going to cause you to lose traction in your business. So being stuck, overthinking things can be caused by a lack of direction or lack of knowledge. If you don't know what to do, you're going to delay making the decision, right? You're going to second guess every choice you make, and you're going to feel anxious and stressed. So ask yourself, why are you not able to make a decision? Um, and then ask yourself, what can you do to be able to make the decision? Knowing, what's making you feel hesitant, that's the first step. So go ahead and just make a decision. Don't overthink. A lot of times that comes from perfectionism. That's a whole nother talk. But anyway, overthinking can be a stumbling block. The third thing is time blindness. And you've heard me, if you've followed me for any time, you've heard me talk about this a lot, because people with ADHD have a different awareness of time than other people. Did you know that? Yeah. And for ADHD entrepreneurs, that means that they could easily waste an entire day being distracted by little things. Their mind wanders. They're easily distracted by phone notifications. They tend to have multiple tabs open on their computers, and all of those distractions take up time. And that time could be actually be used to work on your business. Um, and a lot of times we live in the now, and if something is not immediately due, or there's not a imminent deadline, then we put it off because it's not now. So one thing that helps me is a variation of the Pomodoro method. And you might have heard me speak about this before, but that helps me focus on just one thing for a certain period of time. Um, and I'll just give you the basics. I've spoken about this at length in other trainings, but you set a kitchen timer to go off after 20 minutes, and then you work like deep focus work for those 20 minutes with no distractions. And then you give yourself a 5-minute break, whether you feel like taking it or not. And I promise that if you will continually practice this technique during work hours, you're going to find that it'll help you set and achieve your goals. It really does work. I didn't like it at first, but you have to try it more than one time. But it helps you stay focused on one important thing for a specific amount of time. Um, and that's really important. Okay, the fourth thing that ADHD people struggle with that can interfere with um, running a successful business is imposter syndrome. And imposter syndrome is when you doubt your qualifications. Um, did you know that imposter syndrome only affects people who actually have the knowledge to help people? Really, it never affects scammers. Because here's the thing, you know what you're talking about. You just have to stop feeling like a fraud, because you're not. All you need to do is identify what you know a lot about and find an audience that's a step behind you. Then you just teach them what you know. That's it. You solve a problem that they have. Imposter syndrome comes from not believing in yourself, maybe because of past hurts or rejection. And you start feeling like that you don't know what you're talking about, uh, or that you're not worth being paid for your expertise. And maybe you've got, trolls online or posting hateful comments, or you get a bunch of unfollows or people unsubscribing from your email list. It happens, but you don't have to let it negatively affect your business. You have to show up authentically for people. You have to be real. You have to be yourself. Um, I think that's one thing that people have told me that they liked about my group coaching program is uh, that I'm real and I share things that have actually worked in my life and in my client's life, not just stuff I read about in a book, Um, but focus on finding and building a supportive community of people. Find people who are going to be your cheerleader and keep you encouraged. Um, Again, that's what's so great about the group coaching program, 3P Power program. The group really does support each other. And that is super important. And it helps you to believe in yourself. And you need that confidence to make sales, right? And keep your business going. A lot more we could say about that, but that's I'm just kind of hitting the highlights. Sort of along the same lines, the fifth one is rejection sensitive dysphoria, RSD. It's a big long name for just getting feeling being overly sensitive to feeling rejected, and it goes along with what I was saying about imposter syndrome. You get people who won't read your DMs or they don't read your emails, and then you feel rejected and you spiral into feeling like you're not good enough to run your business. So they go hand in hand. You think, oh, this is just too hard. And you wonder, did I say something wrong? Or you worry about what people or think about you and if they're judging you. And, you know, you just have to step back. You have to take a deep breath. None of that is true. If you experience rejection sensitive dysphoria consistently, you're going to have to learn how to manage it in the right way so that you're not going to get, just so it won't get in the way of you growing your business. The best way to deal with being overly sensitive to feeling rejected is to build confidence in yourself and your business. Celebrate your wins. When things go right, celebrate that. Ask clients to give you testimonials. It's encouraging. It's encouraging to know that you're helping people and your business is serving the people who have not unsubscribed or unfollowed you. So you still need to show up for them. You have people who believe in you because you help them. And so take a logical approach to situations. RSD happens because of our mismanagement of our emotions, really. And so instead of letting emotions take over, play detective. Find, logical reasons why something has happened the way that it has. Maybe the people who unsubscribed to your list were not your ideal clients anyway. And if so, that's good because you'll be able to better tailor your message to the remainder of the people, right? So let me see if anybody is well, make sure you guys say hi if you're watching live and that you say hashtag replay if you're watching on the replay. Hi, Carol. Carol's new to the 3P Power program. So welcome. And those of you who are watching the replay, make sure you say hashtag replay so I know. But we're talking about the ways that ADHD can possibly hinder growing a successful business and what to do about it. So the sixth thing is burnout. You know, and this happens to people without ADHD as well, but sometimes people with ADHD feel they feel lonely. They feel like nobody really understands, and they everybody else thinks I'm lazy or irresponsible. So we end up, jumping through hoops trying to prove to others and prove to ourselves that we're not all of those negative labels. And we all want to be accepted, right? We want to be accepted by the neurotypical society that thinks we're just using our ADHD as an excuse. So we feel like we got to prove that we're not doing that, and so when we start our business, we want to prove people wrong. And since we struggle with self-compassion, we drive ourselves to work too hard, and that leads to burnout because you're going to feel exhausted all the time. And if you're not careful, burnout can make you want to just close your business down. You feel discouraged and overwhelmed. So it's important to make rest part of your business strategy. Um, the last business coach that I had um, talks about how to prioritize the things in your life that are important, like family and health, and then build your business around that. If you don't rest, you can't show up consistently in your business. You won't have the resources to give to other people, and then that's going to negatively affect your business. Your business is going to suffer if you don't get rest. That's all there is to it. So you have to be kind to yourself. You stop beating yourself up. What you say to yourself matters. How you speak to yourself matters. It's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to rest. Tomorrow is a new day. Today's Monday. You got a new week ahead. So set reasonable timelines for yourself. Because remember, with ADHD, we tend to underestimate how long something is going to take to accomplish. Um, a lot of times we're rushing right before a deadline, drains our energy. I mean, here's the thing, you are not broken because you have ADHD. Your brain is just wired differently. So use positive affirmations and remind yourself of all of the things that you're doing right and all of the gifts and skills and talents that you have. Again, I have to say that's one of the best things about my group coaching program is just how we remind each other of progress that sometimes you might not even recognize in yourself. And one of my favorite things to do on group coaching calls is to have people share their wins for the week. And a lot of times at first they have to think pretty hard. Because our knee jerk reaction is to think about what we did wrong instead of what your wins are. But I encourage you to celebrate your wins. So, again, I hope that, those were just some highlights. We could have a whole Monday Night Live on each one of those separately. And maybe I'll do that. But I hope that was encouraging and helpful to you. And if you want to find out more about the Get More Done system for entrepreneurs, I am hosting a free workshop Wednesday night, and I will put the link in the chat in Facebook. If you're watching on another platform, if you would just contact me and say, I'm interested in coaching or I'm interested in the training, then I'll get you the information. So, all right. I think we had a small crowd tonight, but I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye.